before we do, I want to touch on something for a minute. For 4 years, we can go back to Riley too if you really want to. So 8 years, whatever. But let's just go the last 4.5 years. We had not tackled in practice. I'm talking about practice. Let me liken what that means, right? Because there's a story of me going to practice after we got our, butts kicked against Michigan in 2017 and what I saw. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if Bud Crawford, who is the champion of the world, getting ready to fight Spence, if all he did was train and shadow and never sparred, does he have a chance to win?
I wouldn't think so.
Let me say this again. He doesn't spar. A boxer does not spar. Does he have a chance to win? I'm just wondering. How can you? And then you talking about winning a championship? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, black shirt. I'm coming in hot. I'm telling you, I'm coming in hot. Reality, listen, big bro Johnny Mitchell put some reality in me. AD, if you're still around, come back into I need to talk to you too. Come on back. But he put some reality. Let me ask you a question. How much money over the career over Scott Frost's contract and career with Nebraska did he make?
Ooh. Well, about 5 a year, I suppose. So let's go around 32 million.
So what's 32 plus? Did you put the buyout in there too?
I don't know exactly. That's
fine.
That's a throwaway.
Let's call it 35.
Yeah.
Do you think Terrence Bud Crawford, the champion who's never lost, how much money do you think he's made over his career? Who made more money?
Scott Frost.
Ah!
Really? I would think
What?
Bud. I would think Bud.
No, Scott Frost.
Has he really? There you go.
Bud's career spans almost 20 years.
How's that Spence fight? I mean, that's going to be a big money. Hopefully.
Maybe that'll be his first.
That might get him over.
That'll get him way over. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying if us not tackling for year 1, year 2, year 3, do you know what's happening? You're getting gun shy every single year. You don't tackle. With that, I was listening to I love the pressers now. I'm glad that you got to start taking what people say for what they say. Unless you Scott. I'm just kidding. Here we go. Let's play Farmer. Let's play Farmer.
You want to? There's several bites here. You want to start with did it get better with the tackling in practice?
Hey Bach, you decide which way you want to go.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We had more one-on-one periods, ones-on-ones. We had more live periods. It's not gonna happen overnight. We've been tagging off for 4 years.
Think about that.
Tagging off
4 years. We're talking about a powerhouse football program like Nebraska.
Yeah, and like we can't afford pads, So that's just.
We're tagging off for 4 years. So are you really making an effort to be champions if you're tagging off for 4 years? Any type of champion. Are you now understanding why the record was what the record was? Because you took a team that led the country for like 14 years or 12 years in a row in rushing, and you said whatever the recipe was that helped us lead the entire NCAA in rushing for, I don't know, 11, 12, I don't know how many years it was in a row. Whatever that recipe was, you know what? It doesn't work anymore. It don't even taste good anymore. And then you masked it with poop. And then you said, here it is. Eat this. We're not going to tackle. Eat this. We're not going to block. We can't get off of blocks. at the end of the day, it is the coach's responsibility to ensure that the young men that are 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, Bach, you remember when you, or let me ask you a question. You too, Terrell, but I'll start with Bach. When you were 21, which would have been almost 10 years ago, are you more mature or less mature?
More mature now, yeah.
Perfect. You're not doing the same things you were doing when you're 21, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. So then that means you need more supervision now or back then.
Back then.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if the supervisors are not supervising, supervisors probably need to get hammered, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to it again. It's blocking and tackling. The fundamentals of football is the thing that we need at Nebraska. And all the people who say, well, Mickey's got to win 6 games, shut up. Don't want to hear it. Mickey's got to win. If you want to be the coach, he's got to win 100 games. He's got to go undefeated. He's got to win 4 out of 5 with what?
That's just like half-ass coaching. You know,
Who's the backups?
you're gonna get
Whoever gets this football team is getting something that they're going to have to completely build from the ground up. Now, that build is easier because it's Nebraska. But if you don't love the university, if you don't love Nebraska, and I'm not talking about lip service. See, love is action. Love is not about saying, oh, I love you, but I'm not going to spend any time with you. I love you. I love you, but I'm not going to do anything for you. I love you, but I'm not going to tell you got a booger in your nose. I love you, but you might be a little tipsy, and I'm not going to be your friend and take your keys. Love is action. Whoever the next coach is, I'm going to say coaches, because the thing that you have to, it takes a village to raise these young men. All coaches got to be on the same accord. You can't have one coach on this, another coach on that, and take your doggone, stop coaching in your feelings. We playing the guys we like. You ain't going to like everybody. That don't mean I ain't going to play him if he's a good football player. If he's the best I got. No. Look, listen here. You are the best we got, but right now we're going to play these other guys, and you need to learn something. Tell me how much sense that makes. Really? That's what the level of coaching has stooped. How much are these coaches getting paid?
move between $500 to $1 million more.
Listen,
Shenandoah,
I don't know who could breach their contract by not showing up for work and still have a job and not even listen. It's one thing to go to work. It's another thing to actually work. I've had jobs in my life, of course, and in my jobs, I've worked with other people, and especially if it's a job I was a used car salesman. You know what I mean? I still am. And in the used car world, like at the big dealerships, Toyota, Chrysler, you'd have a lot of salespeople. So you got 20, 25 salespeople. Well, if you're a guy who wanted to make 10 grand, 11 grand a month, see young guys, you can go to the car dealership and be a salesperson and make $10,000 a month. Which one or you can get a degree and you're overqualified for the good or underqualified for the good jobs and overqualified for the jobs like career jobs. So you can't find a job. You got to go be a social worker. You've been a Ferrari. Now we want you to go run with the Pintos. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. The only thing that can happen is Coach Joseph and the rest of those coaches can love the players enough to teach them what to do. And you don't put your head in front when you're tackling or in back when you're tackling. You put it in the front. We've been teaching that since Little League. Are you kidding me right now? Little League football, we teach our sons, because most dads are Little League coaches. We teach our sons, and can't tell me much about Little League because I ran 2 different organizations and won 6 championships in it. Okay? So you want to teach your young men to put their head across when they're tackling. You want to tell your young men to keep their head up and see what they're tackling. Head across, see what you're tackling. What's the last one? Starts with a W.
Walk them to the ground.
Wrap up.
Take them to the ground.
Wrap up. Those 3 things, Bach, are the keys to tackling. Blocking, tackling. Guess what that is? Fundamental football. Forget getting into the schemes. I don't even got to talk defensive schemes because we've been out defensive scheme for 4 years, and all of a sudden, everybody's got blinders on to the fact that we've been out schemed. And then we got bamboozled to think that we're going to go out in the transfer portal and get some killers on the payroll. Get some guys that could go 0 to 60 real quick, and I haven't seen it, except for Casey Thompson.
Yeah.
And if they don't get the blocking in order, he ain't going to make it to the end of the season. Getting hit the way he's getting hit. Guys coming around the corner untouched. That's scheme. That's knowing what you're doing. But when you get a guy and he's not, listen, I watched the game. I am disappointed. We had guys getting knocked 10 yards off the doggone ball and giving up. That ain't Nebraska football. That ain't Little League Nebraska football. It ain't high school Nebraska football. It's not Division II Nebraska football, Division III Nebraska football, and it's definitely not the University of Nebraska football, period. End of discussion. Guys on that touchdown run by the quarterback turned their backs. Period. That's unacceptable behavior for a football player. That's unacceptable behavior for a football player that's wearing that in. You want to look all sweet, you want to look all good, and then play the way you look. See, I'll give them throwback uniforms. Throwbacks. We don't need to throw nothing back. We need to go watch the throwback film. We need to watch what we were doing to understand where you want to go to. I'm ranting.
Yeah, you go, Captain. You go, Captain.
It's unbelievable.
But, yeah, and I understand what you're saying, but that's if they haven't hit in 4 years, that's the coaches. And that's them making the kids soft.
Making them soft.
And that's why they play like that. I mean, we can't expect them to go out there and in 4 days and try to beat Oklahoma if we knew they ain't tackling 4 years. If I knew they didn't tackle in 4 years, I would have wrote the whole season off. You know, but right. And it starts with Shenander because he's a defensive coordinator. But it comes from the head man too, though, you know, because if you being late to practice and meetings or whatever you was late for, you know, it comes to the top, and, you know, it trickles all the way down. And I wouldn't blame the other coaches because they do what they are paid to do, what the coach say. So, you know, as an organization, it comes from the top.
Do you actually think, right? Like, so I just think about Mickey and the job that he's doing. And I say to myself, you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm listening to Mickey at the press conference and he's putting the entire blame on his own shoulders. You talk about a leader that's willing to take the bullet for the team. Huh? Stood there. Go ahead, firing squad. Shoot me. Leave him alone.
And then fires the defensive coordinator the next day.
Good. You know why? He probably looked at the tape.
Yeah.
He probably feels the same way I do.
You didn't have to look at the tape. You just had to be at the game.
Yeah.
You know?
But as a coach,
They laid down on it.
Wait, though, as a coach, you don't know really what took place in the game because you're coaching. You don't know the individual plays. But see, the eye in the sky don't lie, Bach. You can't run from the film. That's why nowadays the things that are happening you see more of. Because we got these television sets that's glued to our butts that at any time something happens, what can we do? Turn on and record. Right?
Around Nebraska, it's the audio tapes that seem to be getting recorded.
Well,
The video.
it either is audio, video, with my point is we can record, and because of that, there's nothing that's not laid bare and uncover in front of the eyes when we got to give an account. Yeah. It is what it is. We don't hit in the games because we don't hit in practice. And I'm going to go back to this and say, shout out to Mickey Joseph for putting the brunt of what is going on his back. I appreciate that big time. But that is everybody that's down there that's associated with the University of Nebraska. You need to put it on your back like Mickey put it on his back. If you do that, I think our university will turn around. If we have more love for what we're doing, more love for the boys that's coming from all over the country to play for our institution. This better be something nice, Bob.
I'll get you dancing a little bit.
Give me dancing a little bit.
You got us some techno.